And suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. Why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it. And their top echelon,
Director General and the CEO.
This is within one of our great allies. This is supposedly our great ally, BBC. The government has a chunk of that one, I guess. But that's a pretty sad event. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech, and they made it sound radical. And they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. But it was very dishonest, and the head man quit, and a lot of the other people
We're actually going to play it. But tonight you are saying to our viewers that you will go forward and file a defamation lawsuit against the BBC.
Well, I think I have an obligation to do it, because you can't allow people to do that.
Well, and if he didn't go ahead and threaten a lawsuit, the two people that were Tim Davies and the other Deborah Turner, they'd probably still be working there. But he has to show some accountability, and he should go forward with the lawsuit, because the BBC would do this over and over again. BBC is a government function agency in the UK. They don't care when people get, the UK, they don't have as much freedom of speech as we have. They lock up people for putting out Facebook posts, for putting out tweets. And you know who does the cheerleading there? The BBC. They cheerlead it. And people always say, in America, they go, I listen to the BBC, because it's played in different states. In Florida, they can hear the BBC. That's why they're suing. He might be suing in the Florida jurisdiction. But a lot easier to win a case in the UK, seems that some of the experts have told me. So they don't care when they go after people on the right. BBC all the time, they do it. They were so against Israel during the war, taking a side. And they had spokespeople. They did a documentary, actually, the BBC, and they used one of the Hamas's sons as the spokesperson. Can you imagine this? That's what they did to the BBC. So it's reckless what they did. I'm glad the president's going to sue. Will he win? Who knows? But you know what he did? He brought attention. When the president does something and threatens that, it's everywhere, so people want to know about it. And a lot of the liberal media, as we expect, are playing defense for the BBC, as they always do. We wouldn't put it past them to do that. But America knows better, and I'm glad the president's fighting these things, because when you have an institution that's funded in billions of dollars, a government entity, and they purposely go after the president because he's a Republican, they go after conservatives, they go after their own people, and that's what the BBC does, and they've always been known that. And all the people in America go, I watch the BBC. Well, good for you that you watched a biased institution. And I'm glad there's another outlet out there, GB News, that's doing really well, the UK.